Hi Prep 2, I wish your day is fine. Here we are together again with Aim High Book, and this is the second session of Unit 1. Today we are gonna have Lesson 3, which is a grammar lesson, and in the second part of this session we will have Lesson 4, which is skills, and we will have some new vocabulary in that lesson. But at first, of course, we will have the revision part. And we can start with question number 1. Rewrite the following sentences using the words between brackets. Number 1, Hannah and her sister are doing their homework now, so we need you to use what? And of course, this is present continuous. So if you want to make a question using present continuous, we can say that. The answer is, what are Hannah and her sister doing? If we have verb to be in the sentence, of course, we will use it in the question. Number 2, they play games every week at the club. We need you to use not. So how to make negative in the present sample here? They play games every week at the club. So if you want to use not and there is not am, is, or are, so of course you will go for the helping verb do or does. And this is they, so of course we can use do, so we can say that. The answer is they don't play games every week at the club. Number 3, and this is the last sentence. He always makes his bed after he gets up. And we want you to use when as a question. And first you can ask yourself, is it present simple or continuous? Of course this is present simple, and we will use helping verb because there isn't verb to be here, so we will use do or does. Of course does. And here the answer is, when does he always make his bed? And don't forget, if you put does, you will cancel S with the verb, because of course do, does, and did need to use the stem verb after them. At this point we can say that we finished the part of the revision. And by the way, this part will help you to understand the grammar lesson for today, because there is a surprise for you. Today we will not talk about a new grammar lesson, but we will talk about present tense contrast. So what does it mean? We will talk about something repeated for you. I think you started to study present simple since you were in primary 3, so today you will not have a new grammar lesson, so it will be easy. You will just try to remember everything about present simple and present continuous. To start talking about present simple, you need to remember, when can I use present simple? I need to remember that we can use present simple if we are talking about habits or daily routine. Habits or daily routine. If this is something repeated for you and you can do it a lot of times, so this is your habits, so you can use present simple like this sentence. I usually get up at 8 o'clock. So this is your habit, so this is present simple. Number 2. If you are talking about facts, this is a fact. This will happen if you don't want. So this is a fact that the sun rises in the morning. Can you find the sun rises in the evening? Of course not. So this is a fact, and especially when you are talking about scientific facts, you need to use present simple. So we can say that the sun rises in the morning. This is present simple. When can I use present simple? Number 3. We need to use present simple if we are talking about a permanent situation or fact. Permanent situation, that this is something happens for a long time. So it's a permanent situation. Jack lives in London. It's his hometown. So this is a permanent situation. This is a situation that happens for a long time. But by the way, if you are talking about a temporary action or an action that has a start and end, so you can talking about, or this a temporary action, you can use present continuous, and we will talk in detail about it after that. The last usage for present simple, we can use present simple to talk about timetables or schedules. So if you have timetable or a definite plan with a timetable, this is present simple. We can say that the train leaves at 1:30 tomorrow morning. If there is a specific time, if this is a timetable, so you need to use present simple. So you know that the school bus comes to you every day at 7:30. You can say the bus arrives at 7:30 every morning. So this is present simple because this is a timetable. What about the form? Of course, if you are talking about a singular subject like he, she, or it, and by the way, we can say not just he, she, or it. We can say Ahmed, Ali, Mark, John, the English session. So if you are talking about just a singular subject, you need to remember that you will add s to the verb. So you will add s to the verb with the singular subject like start and starts. So you can't say the English session start at 8 o'clock, but you need to say that the English session starts, because the English session here is a singular subject. The English session starts at 8 o'clock every day. Sometimes you need to add es. When can you add es? You will add es to the verb ending with ch, ss, sh, x, or o. If the verb is ending with ch, for example, teach, they teach. But if the subject is singular, you will add es. Don't forget, we added es here because the verb is ending with ch. So here we said she teaches, like she teaches English for a long time. So sometimes we need to add ies. When can I add ies to the verb? Of course, if the subject is singular, but if the verb is ending with y letter, but before the y letter there is a consonant letter, like cry. Look at the verb. It's ending with y, but before y there is not a vowel, there is a consonant letter. So we will change y into I, and then we will add es. So we said that cry, it will be cries, but the form of the verb or the shape, it will be changed. My baby sister always cries loudly. So when we talked about a singular subject like baby sister, just one sister, and we talked about a habit for her, so we talked about present simple, so we changed cry into cries because cry ending with y, and before the y there's a consonant letter. We talked about the form. By the way, if we are talking about a plural subject like we, they, you, so we will use the verb in the stem form of it. We can say they teach, but she teaches, like that. What about the negative form? Of course, if we need to do or to make the negative form of present simple, we will go and think about the subject, or we will go and try to think about the verb. Here, I usually get up at night. I'm sorry, get up at 8. So if I want you to use not in this example, you will go to the verb. And of course, here I can't find verb to be, so I will go to find helping verb. We will try to think do or does. Of course, we will use do here because there is not s in the verb, so we will use do. So I will say, I don't get up at 8. But example number 2, the sun rises in the morning. So I will go to the verb. There is not verb to be, there isn't am, is are, so we will go to the helping verb do or does. There is s in the verb, so of course we will remember to use does. So the sun doesn't rise in the morning. Of course, this is a wrong sentence, but this is the form of negative. So here, we don't teach, but she doesn't teach. So remember that don't comes with the plural subject, but doesn't come with the singular subject. And for question, you can use do or does in present simple. We can say that here, for example, the train leaves at 1:30 tomorrow morning. So I can say that, when does the train leave tomorrow morning? When does the train leave? Of course, we will cancel s in the question because we know that if we use do or does, we need the stem verb or verb stem. And here we can say that, when do you usually get up? When do you usually get up? So if you want to talk about negative or question, remember to use do or does in present simple. Next part, we will talk about present continuous. So when can we use the present continuous? We can use present continuous when we are talking about things that are happening right now. We are watching a film right now. I'm talking to you right now. I'm teaching English session for you at the moment. So this is when we are talking about things that are happening right now, we need to use present continuous. Number 2, and this is a new usage. I think you didn't know it before. We can use the present continuous to talk about annoying behavior with always. Oh my God, Miss, can I use always in the present continuous? Yes. I can use the word always with the present continuous when I'm talking about annoying behavior. Something bad is happening, annoying behavior like that. He is always talking about himself. So this is annoying behavior that makes you angry. So you can talk about the annoying behavior and say, he's always talking about himself. For example, another example, we can say that, she is always interrupting me while talking to my friends. She is always interrupting me while I'm talking to my friends. So this is annoying behavior. We can use always in the present continuous when we are talking about annoying behavior. Number 3, arrangements in the future. When you have a plan, especially when you are arranging everything, when you arranged everything about something in the future, you can use present continuous, like Sally and Tom are flying to Rome next Friday. What does it mean? That they have arranged everything about this flight, and this is everything is arranged about this plan in the future. So when everything is arranged about something you will do in the future, that means that you can use present continuous. So here in this sentence means that Sally and Tom booked the ticket, Sally and Tom prepared their bags, so they arranged everything about that part. So Sally and Tom are flying to Rome next Friday. They express about something will be done in the future, but they arranged everything. So this is present continuous. What about the form? When we are talking about something is happening now or annoying behavior or arrangements in the future and we need to use present continuous, we can remember that we are using ing with the verb. But before you add ing, you need to remember that before the verb you will put am, is, or are. So verb to be, then you will write the verb, then you will add ing. I'm waiting, she's waiting, they are waiting. So the form here is am, is, are plus verb plus ing. You need to remember when you are ready to add ing, but when you find that the verb is ending with e, so you need to remember that you will cancel e and then you will add ing. So the stem here, smile, ending with e. So when we want to write we are smiling, we will cancel e and then add ing. The last note about the form, when verbs have one vowel like that, o, one vowel, followed by m or g, p or t, so what will you do? You will double the final consonant and then add ing. For example, the verb stop. So the verb stop ending with p, but before b there is a vowel. So we will double b, we will double the last consonant. So they are stopping here. They are stopping. And for example, the verb put, P-U-T. So it's ending with T, but before T there is the sound, the vowel sound U. So when I'm saying she is putting on her jacket, I will write putting, P-U-T-T-I-N-G. There is a very important note about present continuous usage. Here we have something called stative and dynamic verbs. And this is a new point for you. We have some verbs that we can't use with present continuous. Oh my God, this is a new part. Yeah, we have two kinds of verbs, stative verbs and dynamic verbs. We have dynamic verbs that are the verbs that describe actions. They can be used in simple and continuous form. Like I'm running in a race. So the verb run is describing an action. So I can use it in present continuous. What about the stative verbs? These are the verbs that describe a state or a situation that are not usually used in continuous tenses. What does it mean? So here, run describe the action, but the verb understand describe a state, not an action. So I can't say I'm not understanding you. This is a wrong sentence. We need to say that I don't understand you, because understand is not expressing an action, it expresses a state. And Miss, can you tell us some examples of stative verbs? Of course we can say it. So here we have some famous stative verbs like enjoy, like, love, hate, prefer, understand, believe, remember, forget, want, need, belong. If you are thinking about these verbs, you will find that these verbs don't express actions. They express a state or something emotional. So this is not an action, so we can use these verbs, the stative verbs, just in the present simple. We can't use them in the present continuous. But be careful, there are some stative verbs that can be used with a dynamic meaning. What does it mean? Sometimes we can find some verbs that have two meanings, like the verb have. Sometimes you can find that the verb have, like this, have two meanings. Have, like I own this thing, when I say I have a mobile phone. And there is a different meaning of the verb have. When I'm saying I'm having pasta right now. So have here means I'm eating pasta right now. So if the verb have express an action like eating, so we can use it in present continuous. But if I'm talking about something belongs to me, so have here expresses a state, not an action. So I can say I'm having a mobile phone. If you are saying I'm having a mobile phone, that means that you are eating a mobile phone. So remember that point. Sometimes you will find a verb with two meanings. If the verb express an action, you can use it in present simple or continuous. If the verb expresses a state, you can't use it in the present continuous. Okay, if you can't save or keep the stative verbs, you can try to make it easier for yourself. You can remember that we have some verbs that are stative. Remember that we have some emotional verbs like care, dislike, hate, like, love, mind. All of these verbs are emotional. So remember that a lot of emotional verbs are stative verbs. And we have mental verbs like believe, feel, imagine, know, understand, think. By the way, the verb think have two meanings. Think, if you are talking about your opinion, so you need to say, I think this is a hard question. But if you are describing yourself, describing your action right now, you can say, this is a hard question. So I'm thinking a lot right now about that question. You are talking about the action you are doing. And here we said that we have a lot of emotional verbs that are stative verbs, and we have a lot of mental verbs, and we have possession verbs, and this is stative verbs like belong, have, and we have verbs of senses like feel, hear, see, smell, taste, and know. So they are stative verbs. I can't say I'm knowing, no. I can say I know or I didn't know. And we have other existing verbs, or they are some famous verbs, but we can't add ing to that verb. I can't say this is consisting of. We can say this consists of, like that. So here we can say coast, contain, include, look, seem, sounds. And we can say that this timetable expresses or talking about a lot of example of stative verbs. And here, this slide, just to remind you about the stative and dynamic verbs. We talked about dynamic verbs describe things that happen within a limited time, or verbs that have a beginning and end, like eat, walk, learn, sleep, talk, run, read. All of these dynamic verbs, I can use it with ing or with present simple. But stative verbs usually refer to a state or a condition, and they are static or unchanging, like believe, think, disagree. Can you say, I'm disagreeing with you? Of course not. You can say, I disagree with you. So you can't add ing to the stative verbs. Adore, wish, coast, hate. So all of these are examples for stative verbs. And by the way, we can go to practice some of what we said. So here, choose the correct answer. Number 1, we always space at school. So we always study or studies or studied or are studying. Can you guess? Of course, your answer is right. We always study at school. So ask yourself, is this present simple or continuous? Yes, of course, this is present simple. Number 2, just a minute, my phone rings, rang, rung, or is ringing. Just a moment, that means that this is something is happening now. That means, yes, just a moment, my phone is ringing. Number 3, the sports day space at 5 o'clock today. Okay, this is time, so timetable. So yes, the teacher said for us that when we have a timetable, this is present simple. So yes, of course, the right answer is finishes. Number 4, do you enjoy space new people? Do you enjoy space new people? So what's your answer? Do you enjoy? Yes, great. The right answer is meeting. Number 5, because we have here enjoy, love, like, hate, all of these verbs, after them we can put ing to the following verb. Number 5, my sister always space me while talking to my friends. So my sister always interrupts me while talking to my friends. This is present simple. Can we use this example as a present continuous? Yeah, we can say, if there is am is are here, I will choose interrupting. So I can say my sister is always interrupting me while talking to my friends, because this is annoying behavior, okay? But here we used to, or we chose interrupts because there is not am is are here. Number 6, why don't you space the problem? Why don't you understand? Is great, because understand is a stative verbs. Do you remember? Stative verbs. We can't add ing to the stative verbs. Why don't you understand the problem? And here, example number 1, we always space at school. We always space at school. Of course, we always study. Yes, great. We always study at school. Number 2, space to go home now. Want, the verb want is one of the stative verbs. So can I say, is she wanting? Of course not. Stative verbs, we can't add ing to the stative verbs. So I can say, does she want? Does she want to go home now? So this is the right answer. Just a minute. My phone, yes, this is a repeated question. So my phone is ringing. Great. Number 4, the sports day finishes. Yes, great. The sports day finishes at 5 o'clock. And here, do you enjoy space new people? Do you enjoy? Yes, after enjoy we can add ing to the verb. Do you enjoy meeting new people? Number 6, listen. That means that this is an action that is happening right now. Listen. Kim sings or is singing? Yes, Kim is singing, because this word listen means that this is happening now. Number 7, why don't you? Yes, why don't you understand the problem? Number 8, I space my friends at the weekends. I space my friends at the weekends. So the right answer is I Meet often or often meet? Of course, it will be I often meet. By the way, don't forget the key words of present simple like always, usually, sometimes, often. All of these words, we can find these words before the main verb in the sentence. So like that, often meet. This is the main verb. I can put often, always, usually, or sometimes here before the main verb. And if there is verb to be in the sentence, we can add these words after verb to be. I can say, I'm always late, or she is always lazy. So if there is am, is, are in the sentence, you will add the keywords after verb to be. Number 9, she space about not feeling appreciated at work. So I can say here, she is always complaining. What does it mean? That this is annoying behavior. She is always complaining about not feeling appreciated at work. This is annoying behavior. She is always complaining. Number 10, I space the bus tomorrow morning. Do you remember? A timetable or arranged action in the future, tomorrow morning. So that means that this is an appointment for tomorrow morning. So I'm meeting the boss tomorrow morning. And let's go to number 11. We space what you are saying now. Can you explain it? Can you say we aren't understanding? Or the perfect answer is we don't understand. Yeah, I can hear that you remember that understand is one of the stative verbs, so I can say we don't understand. Number 12, that bike space to me. That bike space to me. That bike belongs to me or is belonging to me. I can say that bike belongs to me because this is a state, not an action. Number 13, he space his BMW to work every day. So this is a habit for him. So we can say that he drives his BMW to work every day. Rewrite the following sentences. Number 1, the opening of the new sports shop is at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So here I need you to use opens. Here the right answer is yes. The new sports shop opens at 9 a.m. This is the right answer. Number 2, students don't do their homework in class. So how can you use at home? By the way, don't forget to focus on this part. You need to give us the same meaning. So here we can say that the right answer is students always do their homework at home. And number 3, Summer always goes early to school. So I need to give the same meaning using never. So think about this answer. So here, Summer never goes late to school. So this is the same meaning. Number 4, Rachel watches TV every day. So how can you use the word daily? Yes, we can say that Rachel watches TV daily. We will cancel the word every day and we will put daily. This is the same meaning. Number 5, they like to eat ice cream in the summer. So here, if I want you to use prefer, you can say they prefer eating ice cream in the summer. Add this part. We can say that we finished the part of the grammar lesson. But after that, we will go to lesson 4, and this is skills. Before that, we can see some questions of revision. So we can say that this part, rewrite I get on well with my sister. So can you use the word who? We can say the right answer, who do you get on well with? Number 2, Kira doesn't do her homework in class. So how can you use at home? Kira does her homework at home. Number 3, my nephew walks to school. How can you make it into negative? Do you remember? The verb here ending with S, so we will use do or does. Of course, it will be does. Of course, my nephew doesn't walk to school. Remember, after don't or doesn't, you need to bring the verb stem. Number 4, Rachel watches TV every day. How can you use the word how? So here we will ask about the word every day. So we will talk about this, how often. Yes, great. How often does Rachel watch TV? After the revision part, we will have some new vocabulary. We will talk about this lesson, cultural dress. We will talk about some cultural new words about the cultural uniform or some of cultural clothes. Here we will go to some words about the cultural clothes. The first word is fur-lined parka. So what does it mean? A warm jacket or a coat with a part for covering your head. Can you see this picture? Of course, it's not right. Can you see this picture? Yes. So this is the right picture for fur-lined parka. So this kind of jacket is fur-lined because there is a line of fur. Can you see it? Fur-lined parka. And let's go to the second word. Checked kimono. Checked kimono. This is a traditional Japanese piece of clothing, like a long dress with white sleeves, and they are worn on a formal occasions. So can you see this picture? Yeah. So here we have checked, like the pattern is full of squares. Can you find this? This pattern is full of squares. So this is the word of checked. Checked equal full of squares. Kimono, this shape of clothes is called kimono. And by the way, this man is wearing here hard wooden sandals. Hard wooden sandals. So here the man is wearing checked kimono and hard wooden sandals. So when we finish this picture, let's go to the second or the third word, loose dress. Loose dress. We can see this picture, loose dress. What does it mean, loose dress? Here, loose equal, just look at the picture. Is it tight or wide dress? Yes, of course. Loose equal wide dress. Wide dress. So loose here equal wide dress. And then let's go to the next word. Matching scarf. Matching scarf. So if you can see this picture, you will find the matching scarf. What does it mean, matching scarf? This is like a scarf. Matching equal that this scarf has the same pattern, of what is she wearing. So this is matching scarf. So if you are wearing like two pieces with the same pattern, that means matching. So this girl is wearing a matching scarf. Let's go to the next word, long sleeve tunic. So here, long sleeved means that this part, so on his arm he's wearing a long sleeved, and this tunic, this part is tunic, and this is a famous clothes for Japanese or like that. So here we can say that this is a long sleeved tunic. And by the way, this man is wearing a plain turban. This part on his head is called turban. And the word plain means that the turban has no pattern. So there is no shapes on the turban. And by the way, this is a plain turban and plain tunic. So here the word plain means has no shapes. And after that, after the long sleeve tunic, we can say patterned sari. Patterned sari. We can see this picture. So here, pattern equal, do you remember the word plain? Plain means without any shapes, but pattern equal, there are a regular shape on the clothes. So here, this girl and this girl, they are wearing patterned sari. So this shape of dress is called sari, and of course this is famous in India. So this is a famous clothes in India, so we can say that patterned sari. After that, we will go to this part. If you want to describe your clothes, you can use these words. You can think about the pattern, and you can think about the shape, the texture, the material, or other words. What does it mean, pattern? Pattern, this is a regular arrangement of lines or shapes or colors on your clothes. So sometimes your clothes maybe it's shagged or decorated or patterned or plain. So this is some words of pattern, of describing the lines or the lines on your clothes. And what about the shape of your clothes? Sometimes you can say baggy or tight or wide or loose. By the way, wide, loose have the same meaning, and sometimes baggy. The opposite of wide is tight. Number 3, texture. So what does it mean, texture? Texture is the way a surface or a piece of clothes feels when you touch it. For example, when you touch your clothes, sometimes you can find your clothes fine or strong or thick, hard or soft. So this is the texture of your clothes. Material. Sometimes you find yourself you can find yourself wearing cotton, linen, or woolen, or sealskin, and they are some kinds of materials. And sometimes you will need these words to describe your clothes: ankle length, knee length, short sleeved, long sleeved, matching, or fur lined. So all of these words we can use to describe our clothes, and we can think about the pattern or the shape or the texture when you touch your clothes, material, or these other words. And after that, we need to practice what we said. Choose the correct answer. Number 1. There is another word for loose. Which word equal loose? Tight, checked, baggy, or stripy? So we can say that, yes, great, baggy equal loose. Number 2, headscarf, sari, kimono, or turban is worn especially by women from India. Do you remember India? Yes, you can find the right answer is sari. Yes, great. Number 3, this coat is fur lined. Do you remember? There is fur along the neck or in a line around the neck. So it will keep you very what? Very chilly, cold, frozen, or warm. Of course, the right answer, it will be warm. Number 4, it looks like space to me. It looks like space to me. So it looks like a great project. Yes, this is a right answer. Number 5, and this is the last Question. This dress is space. It needs to be tightened. So, from the meaning, can you guess? Yes, this dress is loose, is great, because we said that loose equal wide, and here from the meaning of the sentence we must choose loose. At this point we can say that we finished the second session of unit 1, and I wish everything is clear for you. Next time wait for me, and of course I'm waiting for you.